Okay, welcome to the weekly Wednesday Team Prosperity meeting. This is a meeting that goes directly into your business about how to create a better experience for your clients, a better business for yourself and your partners, and how to get to your end outcomes and goals in the most linear fashion possible. So we are at let's call it the middle of August right now. So what we need to do is understand that when we look at our business and when we look at the time of the year that we're coming into for our business, we have to understand that the time from right about the time that school starts, the end of August through right about the time Thanksgiving, about the middle of November, is a sweet spot for the year for a lot of businesses and industries, but especially ours. So we want to make sure that we capitalize on this time period with preparation, strategy, plan of action, but most importantly, execution. A lot of us in our business, I think we're feeding ourselves a lot of negativity. When things don't go well, you're kind of letting that compound on top of each other. When things are going right or well, you're kind of ignoring that or brushing it off. You need to start constantly and start feeding yourself positive affirmations about yourself, your ability to do this business, your ability to go out and help other people, the mission. That's really going to allow you to get dialed in. If you get obsessed with helping people, the other stuff's going to come, the money, the recognition, the growth, all the stuff that you're looking for. You're writing your own script. So whether you constantly tell yourself you can or you can't, you're going to be right. If we want that 1-2% income, if you want to be in the top tier income of this country, then you have to understand A, what that number is, and then B, how you get there. And one of the ways that you're going to have to get there is by breaking out of the comfort zone. You're going to have to do what the 98 or 99% of the population won't do in order to have what the 98 or 99% of the population doesn't have. So understand what number you're trying to hit, how you're going to get there, but most importantly, understand the comfort zone. It's nice to be inside there, but there's no growth there. So if you want something for your life, you've got to break outside your comfort zone. Last week, you guys, we talked about, being an entrepreneur is all on you. It's more than just being a business owner. It's perspective, and it's also a lifestyle. It's not an easy path. So make sure you have a solid idea that you're passionate about pursuing. Surround yourself with the right people and the right environments. Live your brand, and don't forget or underestimate what it's going to take to be successful. So that was last week. And this week, we're talking about discipline equals dollars. So if we're coming into that time period of the year where it's the sweet spot, we have to get dialed in and we have to become disciplined enough to where that we know what we're doing, what we need to do. We tier that activity and we create a business plan that's going to get us and our clients and our partners to the end goals. An online business, if you want to build an online business, that in itself, if you've got a good idea and you've got a solution that you can bring to the marketplace that many people need and appreciate, online business is a great place to be. So just building an online business, you're on the right track because that's going to afford you some of the efficiencies, some of the competitive advantages. So understand that when you look at your business, you're breaking down different parts of your business, and different parts has different advantages. Being online gives you a lot of efficiencies and competitive advantages. But you have to understand that just because you're have an online business, it still doesn't, change the fact that action is going to be the fundamental key to all your successes. So you have to make moves each and every day. You have to be willing to go out there, put yourself out there, talk to people. Who are you? What are you all about? Why do you do what you do? How do you help people like them, etc.? If you're not making moves, then you're not making any progress forward. If you're not making any progress forward, then you're going to start to get worried. You're going to start to drift, and eventually you're going to quit. And you're going to quit on what could be a life-changing scenario and business for you, your family, as well as your clients. Never forget the mission. Within that activity, there's a lot of things that we do. You have to tier your activity. If you're going to be disciplined in this business, you have to understand that discipline comes with tiering the activity. So is a post on LinkedIn important? Yeah, it's important. But is it as important as following up or marketing or doing the necessary things you need to do? to create revenue and income for your business. Income producing activities tally up. The lack of income producing activities also tally up in a negative way. So when you're looking at your next week and you're looking at what you're going to get accomplished or what you want to accomplish, you have to understand that, when you're looking at that, what is the plan for the week for income producing activities? Remember, we're not in a charity. We are here to help people, but we're also here to make money for ourselves. And you got to follow your schedule. So if you're going to be disciplined, that also includes following a schedule, being organized, being efficient, doing the same thing. Once again, it's not just about you. If the person comes into your agency and asks, what do you do? And you have no idea, can't explain it to them in a clear, concise, articulate way, they can't follow that. So you're a leader, you're trailblazing. You need to understand what you do, why you do it, and how to explain how to do it to other people. In our activities and in everything that we do, we need to be obsessed with a few things. Number one is call to actions and next steps. Never, ever, ever just leave something out for the other party to decide or schedule. I had somebody that needed to reschedule earlier today. I just didn't send the reschedule link out. I said, I got the same time available whenever it was, tomorrow, the next day. Is that going to work for you? Yes, I go ahead and schedule it. So now it's not just left out there as another task that I have to follow up with because I didn't do what I needed to on the front side, which is be obsessed with the next action steps. And then if you're going to go through and be disciplined and you're going to market, you're going to have activity and you're going to create lead generation, the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you're not following up, then you're doing yourself and your business a big disservice because revenue, income, growth left on the table falls through the cracks. And once again, we're not in the business of just letting stuff, slip through the cracks. You are in this business to, yes, help people, but also make a lot of money. So if you're going to forget the follow-up, you're going to forget a lot of your revenue and income. And you've got to be focused. You got to stick to the plan and stay focused. You can't be drifting in and out. You can't come with your foot on the accelerator for, a few weeks and then check out for a few weeks. That start and stop motion and mentality is like you never really started at all. So once you start, you have to have a continuous effort and a continuous activity. And in that activity and effort, you have to be disciplined. You have to be focused. You have to also realize the discipline comes from every single day, realizing that you're in a contact business, especially in the very beginning of your business. You need to let people know who you are, what you do, why you do it, how you do it, etc. If you're not contacting people, then you cannot create lead generation. If you cannot create lead generation, you cannot create revenue, income, and growth for your business. So understand, and this is a very non-threatening conversation because we lead with value. So it's not like you're going out there pitching, selling, recruiting. You're offering people something they probably want. They would be glad to accept it. And then you continue the conversation. You got to be both seen and heard. And that's very, very important. You can't be a secret agent because secret agents, they don't make money. Nobody knows you're in business. Nobody sees you. Nobody hears your messages. And once again, if there's a lot of white space on your calendar, you're going to start to doubt your ability to do this business, the business ability to create the income that you want, and you're just going to drift and quit. You have to, basically master the art of starting the conversation. Starting the conversation is not hard, you guys. It's about asking questions. It's about showing interest in other people to build interest in what you're doing. But one of the things as a marketer that you have to understand is this is something that you should perfect. And once you perfect it, you have to teach other people how to do the same thing. If you're not starting any conversations, I guarantee there's no revenue and income. Also, that discipline comes from, just increasing the audience, increasing the network, increasing the amount of people that you're talking to, because the more people that you know, the more deals will flow, and vice versa. It works in reverse. The less people you know, the less deals will flow. So as you're going out there, understand that conversations is part of that discipline that equals the dollars. Also remember that no matter where you're starting conversations, if you get good at this, cold market, common market, social media, it all kind of forms a cycle, and that creates warm market lead generation. I just had a education meeting booked today, and the notes were a previous client or a current client recommended they talk to me. So once again, no matter what market you're in or who you're talking to, it's going to feed the other markets. So understand that where you start is not where you end. It's a continuous cycle. Just get good at networking, good at marketing, good at opening conversations. And in those conversations, you have to learn to negotiate. You're going to get what you negotiate in life. That's a general rule. But in this business, you also have to understand that in those conversations, if you're talking about yourself, why you do what you do, your mission, how you help other people like them, once you qualify them as in the persona of somebody that you can help, you got to negotiate those next action steps. And if it's giving away free guides, giving away free education, you're in a power position. We've talked about that before. Just get people into understanding they don't have to accept A. There's B, C, D, E, F on down the road and on down the line, but they have to understand that it starts with education. If you're locked into a fixed mindset where you don't believe that you have alternative options, we all talk about that long winding amortization schedule and how we create a linear fashion from A to B. We have to let people understand that if they do nothing, the current path that they're on, the current plan they're on, is in the best interest of the financial institutions and banks. We inverse that. We put them at the head of the table, teach them how to beat the bank. So negotiate to get people interested in wanting more from you. We talked about this a number of weeks ago. This is the business. You've got marketing, you've got sales, management, and distribution. However, where you are in your business, don't look too far down the road. If you've got little to no partners, you don't got to worry about distribution right now. If you got little to no leads coming in, then, obviously your area of concentration is marketing. And our marketing is about networking. It's about opening conversations. It's about, communicating, starting the conversation, interviewing people. So understand where you are and what you need to concentrate on. The other stuff you can grow into. You need to understand that part of discipline is staying on top of things. Some of us let these small tasks that we should be doing daily build up over several days, and then we log in and we have to do it. Now it's a much bigger task. And if we let it go too far, we're not going to feel like doing it. We're just going to shut off. So understand, don't let things pile up. Don't procrastinate. Do the stuff that you need to do every single day. You need to invest in the future of you and your business, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. The continuous thirst for knowledge, the continuous investment into yourself, personal development, into time management, into organization, all these things that we talk about are going to pay a very, very nice dividend for you and your business, but you can't create a dividend with no investment. So you have to start right now and understand, where am I trying to get to? Just like with our clients, where are you now? Where are you trying to get to? How are you going to get there? And are you willing to commit to get there? Discipline also, goes all the way back to the vision. Remember, we're getting ready to start another 12-week year, and that vision that we have, it should be so strong that it propels us to take action with excitement. If you look at your vision, it's not doing anything for you, don't leave. You need to stick on that vision. You need to create a vision, and you need to craft a vision that does exactly what I just said, propels you to action with excitement, because every day is not going to be good. Yeah, discipline will get you through some of it, but you have to understand that the vision is what's going to, get us through those tough times. From a vision, you create a strategy. What do I want? Now, how am I going to get there? Remember, the strategy includes a lot of things, including a plan of action, but it's your battle plan. It's how you're going to successfully achieve your vision. Inside that strategy, there has to be goals. Remember, part of the vision is where you want to go with your life over X period of time. And then inside that strategy is a plan of action that leads us to our goals. Goals is the first step in turning that invisible to the visible. So you have to see it in your mind first before you can see it in your hand. If you're not setting goals, and if your vision doesn't include goals, your strategy doesn't include goals, you're in trouble, because what are you working towards? How are you going to measure? How do you know if you're getting somewhere? Just like we just talked about, depending on where you are in your business, you're going to have different business level strategies. If you are brand new, well, you're going to have a different business level strategy than somebody's been in for 2 years. So understand, we're not going to have the same business level strategies, but we can all have the same discipline. We can all learn from each other. We can all feed off of each other's positive energy, but understand that you have a big business to build. Understand where you are right now. Concentrate on the most important things They're going to get you to those next steps. And part of strategy, part of understanding what to do is understanding when something doesn't work. You have to stop doing it. That doesn't mean you try something for 2 days and say it doesn't work. I'm talking about you give itself a nice 90-day cycle. And at the end of that cycle, you look back and say, hey, this hasn't produced anything. You have to evaluate it. If something's not working, don't continue to beat your head against the brick wall expecting different results. Stop doing what doesn't work. And when you find stuff that does work, just continue to go to it time and time and time again until it gets stale or something needs to be changed. And then part of that strategy, part of that action plan, part of that discipline is understanding this isn't a 1 day, 2 day, 1 week affair. This is, a business. And it's going to be built through the secret recipe, the secret ingredient of grit. Discipline is the path, grit's the vehicle. So grit's going to get you that guts, resilience, initiative, tenacity. It's going to get you through. Remember, a Hall of Fame career is not 1 season or 2 seasons. It's many seasons put together. Same thing with your business. It's not 1 quarter, 2 quarters. It's a lot of quarters strung out over X period of time. You need grit. And you need to have a thirst for knowledge. Part of the investment into your business, into yourself as an entrepreneur, is developing that entrepreneurial mindset, always looking for a better way to create something for my clients, for my partners, for myself, more efficiency in my business. Whatever I'm trying to do, this is a competitive landscape, both internally and externally. If you don't realize that you're up against other people and you're not willing to go out there and do what's necessary to gain and keep a competitive advantage, people are going to blow past you. And then finally, execution, guys. If you've got a great vision and you've got a great strategy with plan of action that includes goals, you have to execute. If you just sit around and plan and prepare all day, but you never execute, well, you might as well have never done the planning and preparation. Remember, constant planning, constant preparation, constantly kicking the can down the road, just a veiled way to procrastinate. So understand, if you're one of those people, just kind of check yourself. When you're getting into that cycle, break yourself out. Because at the end of the day, all of this is great. Discipline, strategy, plan of action, goals. But if there's no execution, there's no bridge that creates the strategy and bridges that over to success. Execution is that bridge. If you execute your business model, you execute your strategy, your plan of actions to get to your goal and your vision, execution is going to take you there. And you got to focus. There's so many distractions out here these days, whether it's an internal notification from a social media platform, a text message, an email, whatever it is. You have to understand there's a lot of distractions these days, more than ever. You got to be focused on what you want and then just kind of drown out the noise, drown out those other distractions, because you got to follow that one course until it's successful. You got to focus. You can't just be here today, gone tomorrow, back the next day. You've got to starve your distractions and you've got to feed your focus. You've got to be, kind of like a one-track mind as an entrepreneur to accomplish the near-term goals that you have. They're going to lead you to the long-term goals. If you don't have focus, then you're going to, get swayed right, left, off course. And if you do that too much, it's going to end up with you quitting. The last thing that you've got to make sure that you understand, if you're disciplined, and we talked about everything that goes along with that today, you've also got to be accountable. That's part of being disciplined, because accountability allows you to measure progress. It allows you to know if you're hitting targets or objectives, or you're not hitting targets or objectives. Either way, very, very valuable information and data to understand, where you're going, how fast you're going, if you're on the right track. Without accountability, that's the glue. So if you're not letting people know what you're trying to accomplish, you're trying to keep it, within yourself, it's easy to justify excuses to yourself. It's a lot harder to justify excuses to other people that you've made known about what you're trying to do. So accountability is the glue that's going to hold all this together. And then the motivation is your responsibility. Discipline is a very important part about this, and we talked about that today, but your motivation, and like we just talked about a few minutes ago, a large part of this motivation is going to come from a well-crafted vision that helps you understand what you're trying to accomplish over X period of time, what you want your life to look like. And like we talk about, that vision is what's going to get everything else in motion, the strategy, the plan of actions, the goals, the execution. But one of the things you got to bring to the table every single day is motivation. it comes from different areas. It's not going to be the same motivation all the time. You're going to have to find something in your business that you're excited about, and then just roll with that for the day. If it changes for the next day, fine. But you've got to be out there. And if you're not motivated, it's going to be hard to raise awareness. If you're not excited about what you can do for other people, it's going to be hard to be motivated. So you have to raise awareness. And that goes back to being excited about your business, because you have to align with the right type of persona. We've talked about this before. If you know who you're going after as a client or a partner, and you know where those people are, and you've got a message that resonates with a decent percentage of that crowd, it's just about crafting that persona, getting the engagement within that audience or that crowd, and then once again, being obsessed with next action steps. The cumulative effect of what we do, lack of discipline or discipline, is going to add up over time. And we talked about this, several weeks ago. Even like a 1% change from day to day, if it's a positive change, great, it really adds up. If it's a negative change, you're going to dwindle down to little to no productivity. So everything that we do, understand, it's the accumulation of all the choices that we make, even the little choices inside 10, 15-minute, window periods of time. We talked about creating conversations, starting conversations. We talked about the art, mastering the art of that. But one of the things that that aids us outside of the position of power from the value that we give in the marketplace is the ability just to start interviewing people, asking them questions, getting their opinions, getting their feedback. You guys know, you see this on social media all the time. People love giving their opinions. They love giving their feedback. So if you learn how to, ask people questions, get their opinions, get their feedback, that can open conversations. You just got to continue and direct those conversations by doing what we talked about earlier, which is a negotiation. Excitement is so, so important. If you've got a great product and you're excited about that product or service or solution that you're bringing into the marketplace, it's going to come off to the people that you engage with, communicate with. On the other hand, if you've got zero excitement, it's going to be hard. Even if you've got the best product, service, solution in the world, if you've got zero excitement about it, sales and marketing, a lot of this stuff is just a transfer of emotion. If there's no excitement or emotion there, how is the other side going to get excited? And you've got to create momentum. So discipline equals dollars. And part of that discipline is creating momentum. So marketing, conversations, recruiting, sales, your tier activity, just like money compounds, like we teach in our education class, so does activity. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people. Success is a group activity, and then understand what you bring to the table, what you need from other people, make a commitment, and let's get this done. All of this, discipline equals dollars, all about the cash flow. You have to have healthy cash flow as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, to make this worthwhile, because you have an investment in your business. If you can go out right now and get a full-time job that makes you $100,000 a year, well, guess what? Your first 12-month investment into this business as a full-time partner is going to be $100,000. So you need to work, and that's basically your break-even point. If you can go out and get a $100,000 job, your break-even point as an entrepreneur is that investment of $100,000. Once you reach that, now you're going over and beyond what you could trade your time for money. And you got to front load your business. You got to be disciplined about opening those conversations and making sure you're organized enough to keep hold of your data so you can go back and get in front of these people with the necessary information, education, guides, calendar links, whatever it is that they need. But you have to understand that marketing itself is only the first step. You have to organize your data, stay in front of that data, engage general interest, and move those people forward. If we have no consistency, and we talked about this today, if it's a start and stop mentality in motion, it's like we never really started in the first place. So a little time and a little consistency can build a great foundation for something with meaning. Consistency has to do a lot with grit. Remember, it's the continuing motion of going out and doing what I need to do every day. It's going to build this business. This business, in terms of contacting, in terms of the upfront work, can seem a little monotonous and boring. You can turn these into games. You can do, like we told you before, come in for like 15, 30-hour intervals at a time, work with energy, intensity, and then back off of it for 15 or 20 minutes. Come back. Don't just sit in a chair for 8 hours a day. That's not going to create the excitement, the intention, the action that you're looking for. but understand boring makes you money. The daily activity, the ferocity of your follow-up, the approach, what you do every single day. And your number one priority when you are starting this business is to learn how to contact people, how to talk to people, mastering the art of opening, continuing, and directing conversations. This business, Alana and I, as well as some other partners, we've worked on this business throughout the last few years. The business works, you guys. We proved that. What we have to fix is ourselves, those internal problems, those self-sabotaging personality traits that we have, whatever it is. We have to analyze that. We have to make sure we understand what's holding us back. And then we have to make sure to fix that. Lack of focus and lack of positivity equals issues. And when you have issues, you start to work from a panic management. And that's a terrible place to be. You're making emotional decisions that are probably going to be detrimental to your future. If you multiply your efforts, you multiply the results. We've talked about this plenty of times, guys. For our clients, we teach them, how to create a long and winding amortization schedule and create a linear equation from A to B, being their desired endpoint. Same thing here. If you increase your efforts, if you multiply your efforts, you're going to multiply your results. Because if you're talking to more people are going to be interested. Bigger percentage of those people are going to be willing to pick up the guides, schedule the education meetings. That leads to the reports. That leads to outcomes. So if you increase the number of people you're talking to, going to increase the results. Not a hard equation to understand. And you got to get rid of the roadblocks. Part of being disciplined is understanding that, if you've got roadblocks, if you've got obstacles, typical pitfalls that you find yourself in, preemptively help yourself overcome those, typical pitfalls by doing things and working with people and surrounding yourself with people that can help you become a better entrepreneur, better business owner, better partner, whatever it is that you're trying to become better at. And you've got to challenge yourself every single day. You've got to be better. You've got to do better. You've got to move beyond your limits and out of your comfort zone. I still, if I'm going into an important meeting, still get a little bit nervous. If you don't, then probably shows that you don't care about your business or your clients anymore. So it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be a little bit fearful, but go through and do what you need to do. The growth is going to come outside the comfort zone. We talked about that earlier. So part of your job in being disciplined is to challenge yourself each and every day to break outside that comfort zone in one or more different ways. We do a lot, and we do a lot of good for the marketplace, for the clients, for the prospects, whoever it is that we're talking to and engaging with. But one of our main jobs is we are debunking myths, from fixed mindsets, from lack of education about how money works. And we're filling that gap with a factual alternative to help people understand how to take different action steps to get different results they actually want versus just drifting into a life that's basically unknown. And the best way, guys, to correct the wrong information that the general public has is to provide them with the right information. That's why we lead with guides. That's why we lead with educations, because once somebody has their eyes and minds open and they understand things a little bit differently, the rules of the game, so to speak, they can make some different action steps that get them different results they actually want. So, part of what we do is helping people understand you just got the wrong information. You need the right information. We've got it. That's all we've got for this week. We'll continue each and every week to help you guys, bring stuff to the table that will help you build your business on the client partner side, help you develop as an entrepreneur, and help you flourish.